My argument would be, I did the Michael Knowles show over at you guys' studios a while back, and he was sort of expressed to me that he was sort of feeling conflicted with the person he was sitting and interacting with, and the fact that he, has the same stance as you typically on pronouns. And the thing that came up was, well, if you and I were to go to a business dinner or any kind of dinner, and you were meeting me at a restaurant, and I was there first, and I was in an orange shirt, and you had to tell, the host, I'm here to meet my friend Blaire, and they said, okay, and you had to describe me to take me to the table. You wouldn't say the man in the orange shirt, you would say Blaire, you would say her over there. So for me, it's about sort of real world application of it. The thing that I hate the most is being expected in these conversations to sort of suspend my reality of how like social interaction really works outside of the debate. So what do you feel about that?
I think.
All right. And before we let Ben Shapiro answer, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to make this video to discuss the conservative hypocrisies. Okay. So that was just Blaire White. Blaire White is a conservative trans person. I think that's what Blaire calls himself. Okay. And conservatives accept this person or whatever. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that we should, I'm going to make one disclaimer. Blaire White has made some arguments that I would certainly agree with, okay? And I am not sitting here saying that Blaire White is an innately bad person. I'm also not saying that anybody should be mean to Blaire White or just have no compassion at all. Absolutely not. But the truth lands where it falls. And on this channel, we make the inconvenient truth great again. Conservatives have a problem. They are hypocrites, and I'm tired of it. Conservative Inc. Let me just use that. We're going to use Conservative Inc. talking about mainstream conservatives. I understand the notion of, well, Blaire says all the right things, so it's okay. Conservative Inc. drags Dylan Mulvaney all over the place, and I'm not making any excuses for Dylan Mulvaney, but how is Dylan Mulvaney any different than Blaire White? If Dylan Mulvaney got on top by making TikTok videos, 365 days of girlhood, all this stuff, and then Conservative Inc. gets mad at him for that, the Blaire White did the same thing. Blaire White made videos about his transition or his substitution body expression and what he went through to be able to do that, all right? Now, he's a little bit more realistic than a lot of these kids I'm seeing lately, but at the same time, he's still the same thing that you claim not to like. I'm confused.
I think there's some truth to that, meaning that I think that there is a utility to the use of pronouns, but that's not quite the same as suggesting that a transgender woman is a she in the objective sense. So
now, this video is from 5 years ago. Now, though, we are teetering into a level of insanity. I talk about it on my channel. They're changing legislations, everything else. There are people who really think that they will turn into a woman. Blaire White doesn't think that, but there are people who do. It promotes the delusion, and this is a very dangerous delusion. But of course, we don't talk that much about the adults who do it because we say, well, it's an adult. They can do whatever they want. Yet we have a lot of unstable people that are now running things like the Army, the Navy, There's a sense of instability to it. They have a dysmorphia, so something's not connecting. So we're promoting it. But again, it just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me to, the whole point is, well, she's an ally. That's what they would say. She's an ally. We don't need all of them. It's hypocritical. Okay. Let me show you a person who knows how to deal with answering the question. And let me say this. It is a tough and difficult situation. Let's be real. But it's one that it's a situation that you have to, if you call yourself a Christian, you have to take it back to the book. You do.
I have two very, very short, quick questions. One to Josh, right? Earlier, you intentionally misgendered Leah Thomas. Would you do the same thing to Blaire White? Because she's sitting right next to you. And
so Josh Slocum is going to answer that question. What happened was Josh called Leah a man. Leah, the swimmer, okay? Josh is going to answer that question. It's a perfect question. That's a question for a hypocritical conservative.
I'm glad you actually asked that question. It's something I thought about actually before you and I met. And how
thanks for turning it into a personal conversation.
How that was good. No, this is actually interesting. I'll answer the first part first, and the second part second. I didn't misgender Leah Thomas. I correctly sexed him.
Boom on just answering a question.
Second part of this, I'm
Let
sorry,
him
say
answer.
again. Excuse me, it's not your turn, sir.
The person he's talking to, I think, was trying to substitute to present as a woman, but don't quote me.
And thanks for signing me up for this conversation too, by the way. Love it. Love it.
This is something I thought a lot about because I will not do compelled speech. And whether you agree with me, telling the truth is a very important moral value to me, and it has a lot to do with why I do my show and why I talk about the subjects I do. But I'm also a gay man who remembers when I was younger that we had people like you, Blaire, and people who simply dressed in a certain way, or men who were more feminine. We all automatically said she for them or he for the butch lesbians who were like that, because we were part of a community of people who cared about each other. And in those days, because I don't actually like to make people feel bad, I wouldn't get up in Blaire's face and say, I want to make you feel like I don't respect you. I don't want to be mean or cruel, but I won't accept the dichotomy that in order for me not to be mean and cruel, that I have to do something that I genuinely believe is lying about the truth. This is a tough issue. I don't know how to answer you better than that, but that's how I feel.
That is such a good answer. Blaire goes on to say, like, when nobody compelled you to say, calm down. He never said that you were compelling him to address you in any way. Okay, we already know you don't do things like that. And I will say, Blaire does not do things like that. You know, if I see Blaire and I say, his plate is right here, you know, give him the plate or give him the pen, give him the mic. Why am I mean for not addressing Blaire as a she when I know that that is a biological male? This is a conflicting thing for people. This is a thing. And also it's like, well, I just won't use the pronouns. I'll end off with this as far as on the religious aspect. I don't want to, that's a part of my life though. Not using the pronoun too is a disrespect to God, because you effectively give the person more importance than your relationship with God. Like you effectively say, like, I don't want to hurt your feelings, so God will take, won't be mad. I just won't say it. Are you ready to stand up? Are you ready to stand up? It's not easy. I didn't say it was going to be easy. It's not easy, but I like the way he answered it. And to be compelled to this thought of saying, well, because you were mean and you had to use that pronoun, that was mean. That's not mean. That's my life and my choice. And maybe I said it in a good and nice way. But this conversation, though, of course, is about the conservative hypocrisy. Josh Slocum answered that question appropriately, and he's not part of Conservative Inc. But of course, they don't even talk about it. They don't even talk about it, and we're just very hypocritical. Conservative Inc. is very hypocritical. It works now to be selective, but it won't last forever. We're stepping into some serious times, so you need to know where you stand straight up. That's it. That's the conversation. It's a difficult conversation, but we make the inconvenient truth great again, and we can discuss this. Drop a comment below. Let me know. Maybe I said something that you feel like is wrong. I'd love to hear it. Help me understand. Help me understand. I'm willing to hear anything or read anything. I do appreciate you guys coming to watch this video, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.